Oh, he looks good. He looks really good. But I need to stay focused so I can make this video. In a minute.
8 hours later.
Okay, no more Ozzy. Not yet at least. I've been waiting for this episode since the trailer, and boy was it worth the wait. I mean, it was heartbreaking, but still worth it. Especially with Phasmodius. They were absolutely adorable. I don't want to spend so much time talking about them, however, because I want to keep this video short and I have a lot to talk about. And I won't add anything new to what everyone already said about them. I'm just glad they're not just friends with benefits who won't admit they're in love because...
Oh, you little bitches strum the strings of their hearts.
And they're in an absolutely healthy relationship, and yes, there's a little power imbalance, and Ozzy is a bit overprotective, but it's not out of malice, and he genuinely cares for Fizz. I'm pretty sure they'll fix it soon anyway. And I wonder if they'll ever announce their relationship at some point. And with that being said, I'll just move on to Blitz and Fizz and their backstory that was finally revealed to us, and I was not emotionally prepared for it. But before that, I want to talk about their scene in the cage where they were teasing each other about their relationships. And Blitz had this to say about Stolas.
Thirsty bitch who loves feeling the thrill of getting dicked by the lower class. It's a novelty to him.
Gee, I wonder why the novelty didn't wear off yet.
And then he'll call me and try and see how my day was and laugh at my jokes.
Oh, well that's definitely your clue right there that it's all bullshit.
I know, right?
Blitz, you
Fucking really can't say that word anymore.
And I wonder why he's that adamant on denying his feelings for him. Mainly because he doesn't want to get attached to him no matter how much he craves intimacy. And the reason why he would want that could be because of the accident and how he just pushes everyone away because he's afraid to hurt them. However, up until Western Energy, he thought Stolas was invincible. So maybe he wants to spare himself the pain he's so convinced he will endure if he lets himself fall for him. Mostly because he thinks there's no way anyone, especially a royal, that would care about him. And it's not like he thinks Stolas is even capable of emotion to worry about hurting him like that. But maybe he's pushing him further now that he knows that he can get hurt at least physically. I mean, it sounds like he talked to him after Western Energy. And God, I've been waiting for them to get together for 3 years. I don't think I can wait anymore. Luckily, this show has a lot more to offer. Like Ozzy. And they did right by making him hot. And not just because I'm really enjoying looking at him. Because he is the king of lust, and by making him a rooster, they absolutely nailed his design. A great improvement from the original, really. But enough of his good looks. For now, when Fizz was kidnapped and held for ransom by Krim, who wasn't really necessary along with Stryker. I mean, I love Stryker, but I wanted their comeback to be more impactful. But it's not like I hate it or anything, I just think the episode would have been perfect if not for that. Okay, back to the point. Crane mentioned that he's the weakest of the sins, and I think that's a bit of an overstatement, because even if he was the weakest king, there's no way in hell a deadly sin would be weak, and I think why people in hell would consider him as such is probably because he only uses force as his last resort. And he's really nice towards his subjects. And I guess that would make him look weak, and therefore an easy target, because people don't respect the royals, they fear them. And Ozzy gave them no reason to. I honestly think it's great that Ozzy isn't fear-mongering his people despite the disrespect he receives, though I think it's only the case in the other rings because the succubes seem to respect him. But regardless, he was still willing to pay the ransom instead of just murdering Krim and everyone involved. And I'm sure it's not because he can't, but because he doesn't know where they are and he's on a time limit and they could kill Fizz the moment they know he didn't meet up with the lawyer. So it was the best option to just pay Krim so he would release Fizz. After all, he would never compromise Fizz or Ollie's safety for any amount of money, for he is immortal and can always make it back eventually. But he can lose Fizz forever if he didn't. Oh my god. Oh my god! No! And it's the same for like 75% of the canon ships here. No! Why? How about I shatter my heart even more and talk about Blitz and Fizzeroli? and how we finally know what made both him and Barbie Wire hate Blitz so much. And boy was it bad. I mean, I knew it was going to be bad, but damn, where do I even start? Maybe from the beginning, back at Lululand where we see Fizz or his robotic replica for the first time, and Blitz hates him. However, I think it's directed at the robot and not the actual Fizz like some fans pointed out. Except this line.
Being a cheap-ass robo ripoff of an overrated sellout jester!
He's obviously talking about Fizz here, being popular and most likely signing some contract with Mammon or maybe even Asmodeus. But that doesn't really matter. I just thought that he felt betrayed in a way by him advancing his career without him. I also want to add, how the fuck did people think they were brothers after this?
Oh, what a mouth!
And after Ozzy's, I started to think that maybe it was deeper than I initially thought, if you know what I mean. And now we know exactly what happened between them, with Blitz causing a fire that gave him those scars on his face and caused Fizz to lose his limbs. And with him thinking that Fizz didn't want anything to do with him, even though he did want to see him, just because some unknown person didn't want him to. And Fizz thinking that Blitz left him to die, when in reality, he just went to his mom while trying to get help for Fizz. But ultimately, he ended up losing both of them. And his sister as well, who I guess thinks Blitz caused the fire on purpose too, which is why she was so angry at him in Unhappy Campers, and Blitz never corrected her because he thinks he deserves it anyway. And I really wonder who told them this version of events. It's Cash. It's definitely Cash. Some say it could be Mammon, but what would he gain from it, really? So my money is on Cash. That bitch. He was probably the reason why the fire escalated so quickly in the first place, because there's no way they didn't account for the tents catching fire when they have fucking fire breathers. It was all his fault. As if I needed more reasons to hate him. Going back to Blitz and Fizzaroli, I just want to add that the scene where they talked it out was brilliant. Dare I say, perfect. It always surprises me every time I hear Brandon Rogers deliver such an emotional performance. He really can do it all. And it doesn't help that Fizz was about to confess his feelings to Fizz right before he saw how much attention he was receiving and probably thought he wouldn't want anything to do with him anymore. I almost cried, and thank God they're good now. And no, it wasn't rushed because A, Fizz is in a good place now, he moved on from the accident and he's in a loving relationship. And B, he didn't forgive him yet. The hug they shared was the first step towards forgiveness. It also was really sweet.
Would it fuck up the moment if we made out right now?
Still shooting your shot after 15 years, huh, Blitz? What would Stolas think? And speaking of Stolas, I was waiting for him to get an Asmodean crystal for Blitz, and now he finally went to Ozzy to ask him for one, so that Blitz wouldn't need him for his job anymore, and he would ultimately end their relationship. The worst part is that Blitz would actually take this as a confirmation that Stolas doesn't care about him, while in reality it's quite the opposite. Someone needs to kidnap them, lock them in a tiny room and keep them there until they finally talk to each other. And it's probably gonna be me. But thank goodness Ozzy can't give him one because Fizz wouldn't let him.
Nah, fuck it. Let him have it.
All right then. Anything for you.
Motherfucker. Well, that's the end of that. But before I end the video, I want to talk about how Ozzy hating force doesn't go against the sin of lust. I mean, yes, lust is behind sexual assault. However, you can control feelings, like what lust is, but you can always control your actions. So there isn't much of a correlation between lust and sexual assault. And I doubt it's because he has any regard to the victims, since he's perfectly fine with adultery. So long as all parties are sinning, if you know what I mean. And that's just my opinion, really. The next episode is probably gonna feature Mammon, and possibly we'll have Stolas give Blitz that crystal, so I'm not really looking forward to it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.